and the demand is material, and that's obviously driven by a rapidly growing industrialized economy that's moving in that direction. In terms of what can be done to boost the supply from the existing two producers, and let's not forget there are also discoveries onshore along the infrastructure corridor that could be fast cycle opportunities, particularly Amanex or particularly Dodsol, for example, in the north. They could also be fast-tracked and accelerated to unlock scope for further supply into the system. But with regard to producing assets currently, clearly there are a number of ongoing fiscal debates and discussions with regards the PSA reviews. There are discussions with regards commercially conducive investment environments, and those particularly will relate to tenure on the license with regards to the length and duration of the PSAs. Our PSA in Manazi Bay is up in 2031, and Songo Songo up in 2026. And clearly, we are all here for the long term. We want to invest sustainably for the future. We want to lift the production to such a point where we can meet some of the president's mandated targets. I mean, he recently talked, I believe, about being able to ultimately get to 400 million cubic feet a day and use some of that production potential and capacity to actually export it to neighboring countries like Kenya, for example. So I think what needs to happen, as I said in the last slide, is that fast tracking of those commercial discussions and enabling of the assets to allow them to unlock the reserves that are in the ground and to increase the production capacity with the infrastructure that's already in place. So it really is about fast tracking. I do believe that there is a potential demand crisis coming on us, and clearly the country needs energy, and we all need to work together to resolve that in the next 18 months.
Thank you. Really important for us to hear that urgency, actually. Are there any other questions, reflections, or comments from the audience? Don't be shy. Maybe if I could ask you, Rod, I mean, you had other things that you wanted to cover in your presentation. Are there particular risks that you wanted to flag? You were talking about the benefits of early planning, the looking at the range of non-technical risks that could emerge out of projects. I think this very concrete commercial experience and project delivery experience would be very valuable. So please, any other thoughts?
Thank you. Have I got it on there? Yep. One of the ones that I think people lose sight of is that a project of the nature of the one in Mozambique, the probable one here in Tanzania, and the one in PNG, you're talking about projects of $20 billion US. And when you are spending money every day, you need to spend it fast because you're getting no revenue back. You're putting your hand in your pocket every day and you haven't got an income. So you can't take your time. You have to do it fast. And therein lies a problem, a dilemma, because if you spend $20 billion in 5 years, which is 4 years to 5 years, is about the normal time for one of those projects, you're spending $10 million per day, 365 days a year for 5 years. You must have effective controls of your expenditure. Otherwise, it'll blow out.
Those are big numbers, and so it's important to have that realization. Thank you. Please, any other questions or thoughts? In the front here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, you note that these are huge projects, they require a huge amount of money for financing purposes. Can you share experience? How do you structure these projects? How do you mobilize financing for these projects? Are there any challenges, lessons that we can basically pick? Thank you.
Okay. The normal length for one of these projects is dictated by just how many people you can put on the job to execute the work, and so there's a limitation to how many people you can employ without them falling over each other in a rough sense. For these $20 billion projects, to do it in 4 years to 5 years, you're talking about 10,000 people on site at an LNG plant at any one time, which means that because you're rotating a lot of those people, you've actually employed somewhere closer to 20,000 people. That's an enormous number of people to manage. And if you are doing what we did in PNG, where we were drilling holes in the ground in the highlands, we're building a gas plant in the highlands, and we're building a 750 kilometre long pipeline, we had a peak workforce of 22,000 people, and 7,500 of those were PNG nationals, which was much higher than what we expected. So my point is, you've still got to manage an enormous workforce to be able to do it in the time frame I was describing before.
Into a community of that size has implications, and it would be nice that our countries begin to prepare these kind of implications. I had something about public investment, which I didn't get into because of time, but definitely for the countries to be able to absorb this kind of investment, the public and other sectors of the economy have to become alive and take actions that they actually have not planned for. If you take the 22,000 people that the colleague from Wale Parsons is talking about, you start thinking about how they will move and where they will stay around that project area. And all of a sudden, you begin to discover that the housing sector of that country needs to come in very, very quickly and begin to do something about this. And we've started doing this in Uganda, and it's been very surprising the extent to which you affect almost the entire economy. In every sector you go into, be it health, be it education, be it agriculture, be it transport, be it ICT, you begin to discover that if these investments are coming, then all these sectors are not ready. And you're just going to miss opportunities in this sector, or actually just have crises in some of them. And we had begun to see some of these as, for instance, on the East African crude oil pipeline. There was some initial work on the land acquisition and environment and social impact assessments, And they had begun to send hundreds of people into these very remote areas. And all of a sudden, these people had challenges of where to sleep. The hotels could not accommodate them. Those which were there didn't have good enough cooks. Ambulances, because of HSE, they needed specific health support nearby. All of a sudden, you needed 100 new ambulances, which were large numbers. So the effort is now on attracting these huge investments. They are beginning to come, but if you engage on the requirements of these projects as they are implemented in the country, you begin to discover that the public sector investment requirements for these projects to happen is extremely significant. And it's actually threatening when you get into it, because we have tried to start getting into it. And well, it's not completely threatening, because it also brings a lot of advantages, because some of these companies are willing to contribute to health facilities, for instance, so that their 22,000 workers can have health facilities. And you find that that effort is much, much bigger than the Ministry of Health has been planning in that particular area. It's a very exciting area, and I think it's good that the countries think about it. Thank you.
Thank you, and I think that's a really important point. And another point that a number of us delegates were discussing as well was how the planning, but also the sequencing of building skills for the sector as well, and how to ensure that the local workers have the skills that they need at the right time, so when the jobs are available, there are skilled workers, not just at the degree level and professional level, but also at the skilled technical level as well. And so these are all things that, as these big projects move forward, need to be thought about in parallel. And I think the lesson that we're taking actually from today's discussion, I'm being told we need to bring the discussion to an end. So thank you very much to our panelists. I think it's been a very rich discussion. We've covered a lot of different areas. The lesson I've taken is the need for fast tracking, the need for dialogue, and the need for planning. I think those are the three buzzwords that I would take away from all the conversations and the presentations that we've had this afternoon. So thank you very much to all our panelists for a really good discussion. And if we could just show our appreciation, thank you very much.
Commendable job by yourself, Your Excellency. If you would all stand together for a group photo, please. Sorry, I was calling for a group photo. Are you going to be in the picture? Could you join? Oh yeah, just before you leave. All right, thank you. Well done. All right, great stuff, good stuff. Thank you, Your Excellency. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we move on. And a slight... Oh, absolutely, yes.
Sorry, I forgot to say that obviously I'm hosting the Congress reception this evening at my residence. I very much welcome or look forward to welcoming you all to the House this evening for further discussion, further networking, and hopefully some fun as well. Thank you very much.
I think that's what everybody was waiting for. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a slight change to the program a little bit, but we will get to a point where we'll eventually be taking the buses over to our Excellency's residence. It's my great pleasure to welcome Hisham Hendi, Managing Director of Vodacom, for his short presentation. We missed him earlier, but we are thankful that he's been able to make time, precious time, to be able to present to us. Karibu sana, our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, MC. How do I go back? Oops. How do I go back? How do I go back now? start from the beginning. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for having me today. Every time I listen to an oil and gas presentation, I thought in telecommunication we are a complex industry, but oil and gas apparently is way too complex than the telecom. So I wish you all the best on this one. So really today, I know I'm sitting between you and your coffee break, so I'll try to be quick. Hopefully in 10 minutes I'll be done. But basically, we at Vodacom in Tanzania, our vision really is to lead Tanzania into the digital age and change people's lives through technology. And when I listen to you, to your presentations, we from our little research on the oil and gas, we know that the oil and gas industry doesn't really like to waste time on inefficient solutions, and it's either a solution that will really have more extract on oil, or deliver faster or cheaper solutions, and more safely manner. So we thought of really sharing with you of some areas of opportunity in Tanzania and where Vodacom could come through. And really the areas where we thought could be an opportunity is in the health and safety, productivity and efficiency, sustainability, environment as well. So if I start with the health and safety one, really we know that generally health and safety is at the heart of every organization, and especially as well within the telecommunication industry, it's one of our top priority, and we thought one of the things that could be an opportunity for the oil and gas industry is really the safety of your personnel and ensuring that you've got a fantastic safety digitization. And with that, we are basically seeing an opportunity of having smart sensors on the regs that could detect and raise alarms on harmful gases as well. And that also could be through having digital wearables within your personnel. And these are the things that we've also done within other operations in Europe. And with that, we could also do the connectivity wherever the site is as well. So it will be part of the solution will be powered by a very strong connectivity, which we call it the virtual private network, and it's fully secured as well. So that's one very important area where we thought could be an opportunity for the oil and gas industry in Tanzania. Secondly is around the productivity and efficiency. And here we're really talking about all the assets that exists within the site. And that we mean by that is the integrating the exploration, the drilling, the production facilities, and obviously everything that is connected, everything that is available on the site could be connected. And the reason why we're offering that it could be connected, because with that you can centralize all the data within your central office and then use that within use this important data with artificial intelligence that could bring efficiency to your organization. Obviously different organizations are using this data for different purposes. And again, those are the kind of things that we could provide from a productivity and efficiency. Thirdly is around the environment, and I believe we all have an objective and purpose towards our environment. And with that, I think we should all function in an eco-friendly environment. And we've been working with different organizations around having smart sensors and smart devices that could really give you the opportunity to give you some alerts around the decarbonization within the area where you operate. So those are really, and it would obviously give you the analytics that you need in your sites. So again, we're not trying to make everything digital within all the industries, but what we're trying to offer is really some relevant solutions that could be available within Tanzania. And at the same time, we have tried this and we've piloted this in different markets. Our team is sitting outside there if you need more information and more details, but that could be an exciting opportunity that we would love to bring to the oil and gas industry. The second part, which is away from the business solutions and enterprise solutions that we provide, that we would really think that we could partner together as Vodacom Tanzania and some of the oil and gas companies within Tanzania, is around our role within the environment here. And here we're talking about two things, which is education and climate action. We've been very active in that space as the Vodacom Foundation, and if I look at the climate change, we've committed together with the government and our partners around building around 50,000 trees between now and between April this year and March 2020. And there is an objective of building 1 million trees around Tanzania, and we're starting that in Dodoma. And we would welcome different organizations as well, like yourselves, to come and join us in such an initiative, and we'll have such an objective around the climate change. Now, the second part, which is also close to our heart, is education. We've been very active in that space by providing different solutions that are completely for free for our young children in Tanzania, and basically by trying to give and offer a zero-rated portal that all the students can access this portal and get virtual education and online education. And what we're basically seeing here is some sort of a collaboration where, again, the oil and gas industry could come and join us and join forces, because I believe most of us around here have got some sort of corporate social investments or and responsibility towards the environment. And what we've been doing here is that we've been conquering that space and really went around Tanzania, and we've got now over 60,000 students that are using our solution, and we would like to expand on that. The challenges that we're facing is obviously around devices, computers, and so on, where if you're interested, we could definitely collaborate with that on us, with ourselves. We've got the partners and we've got the expertise in terms of digitizing the schools. So if you're keen, we're more than happy if you would like to join us in that space as well. So really, that really concludes my very small presentation. And we would like to, if you'd like more information, our team is outside. We've got a small booth outside here. And if there's any more details around the solutions, please feel free to contact us. We're here, we're available. And it seems like everyone is a bit tired, but I wish you all the best today, and good luck in the rest of the conference. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Hisham. Once again, thank you for appreciating his presentation. There is an idea that we should probably break for coffee a little bit, right? Just stretch a little bit for a few minutes. And when we return, we'll finalize with the final presentation. I believe our colleague from Bankable is here with us, Ivan, and the panelists. And so if we give ourselves about 20 minutes or so, is that okay? That's not too many of us. And if we spread out, I think the settings are spread out pretty much around the lobby. So see you back in about 20 minutes or so. Sounds good? All right, good stuff. So let's stretch a little bit, and when we come back, and I believe we'll also be doing the awards ceremony just before we close for the day.